going to show you my method of putting a square bend in a square bar. I'm using 1/2 inch stock here, and I'm just going to go through it full speed, and then we'll go by step after that. So the reason I like this method better, it's quicker and easier for me, and most importantly, it's more pleasurable than the other more common methods. The other two methods most commonly are to bend and upset into the bend to kind of push the material in here as you bend it, or to cut part of the way through, bend it, and forge weld a glut into the corner. So in both those methods, we're relying on adding mass into the corner. But if you think about the shape in the way a welder would, we can see that there's really no need for additional mass. It's just that when we bend it, the mass is in the wrong place. And so that's what this that's what I'm trying to do with this method, is create a way to just redistribute the mass that's in the bend. So first we're going to make a 180-degree bend. And I like to do this in the bending fork because I find it's easier to make sure that we don't get a twist or a cant. And then we're going to tighten the bend with moderate blows, working right over the end of the bend until it's just closed up. And I'll cool that off and we'll take a closer look at it. So you see I've bent it up tight, hitting it just above the closing point. And you can see I've left just a teeny bit of air in there. And then this is the important thing, is that as on any bend, the inside of the bend has upset and the outside of the bend has stretched. but if you look at it, you'll see that this has grown about as much as this is stretched. So now by having bent it in 180 degrees, we've trapped that material. It can't go any direction very easily, but out towards the end where we want it. And so that'll be the next heat. And so I'll use the peen to move that pooch place towards the outside. That's right, we're scooting the pooch. And then flatten it. Being careful not to go less than my original dimension. Now I'll cool that again to show you that. And so now I've flattened it here, which has begun to open this back up. And if you look edge on, is that a good edge on? Then you'll see that I have now back to the original dimension here. But I still need to make this outer bend come back to the ½ inch dimension. And I'm going to do that by hammering it back in and creating my future corner at the same time. So a nice heat for this. I'm driving this back in to create the corner. I'm trying to allow the bottom bar pretty much flat on the anvil, so I'm only working with the hammer. I'll get a slight fish lip in the end, so I have to just knock that back once or twice. Now you see I've gotten fat here. This has given me another opportunity to go back to the ½ inch. And this is almost where we want to be. We'll stop and look at this. I'll cool this off and show you this too. So now you see we've basically already created a 90-degree angle here. And in doing that, I've been hammering outside of the bend the whole time. So I haven't been hammering back here because I'll get a skinny spot if I do that. And so normally in the same heat, I would round off this sharp corner because that can leave a little wrinkle in the final product. You can see now, if I get it to you, that this is tipped that way a little.
Yeah.
So now you can see that I'm pretty much at a full dimension all the way through. So first I'm going to round off that angle just a little bit. Bring it back to flat, and then I'll begin to open it. To here. Or somewhere thereabouts. I'm going to take another heat before I proceed, but now we'll go to the corner of the anvil and work this way and this way. Obviously careful not to hit the corner that we've worked so hard to create. These will be light, fairly light blows. This one I've got a little bit of a wrinkle on this leg, and I think that's because I bit that a little bit too tight. But now you can see we're basically there. Got a little divot here. We're a little small here, and so now we'll just take a finish heat to clean up and upset this just a little bit, and clean it up just as you would with the other methods. our chamfers, which I almost always do, just to catch this nice light. And if you have any slight imperfections in your edge, it will cover a multitude of small sins. There we go. So here's my finished bend. Came out pretty nice. And one of the really nice things about this method is that you can see I have no hint of a cold shut in this corner, which is always a tricky issue with the upsetting method. And another little advantage is that by putting a center punch mark where you want this to be, when you before you make your 180-degree bend, it's really easy to locate this bend in the correct place. You may lose 1/8 of an inch, but you're going to be very, very close. So there it is. Have fun with it.